Welcome to Set the Record. I'm Malcolm Anthony, all the way from Houston, Texas. We got Cody.
What it do from the 713, baby? It's good to be back.
Yo, man, there he is. Editor-in-chief right there. Subscribe to the show wherever you're watching on YouTube, of course, or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Give us those 5 stars. We out here working, okay? It's late. We enjoying the games. We watching the games. And you know what? It's been a while. We took the summer off, and we're so glad to be back. Look. We're gonna start with the NBA.
Yes, sir.
I tell you, a lot has been happening. Preseason started, off season's kind of over, and trades have happened, and we have moved into the time where basketballs are being dribbled.
Yes, sir. Best time of the year. Basketball season's coming back around, and we love it. Preseason hoops are finally back on, man. Who you been watching this preseason? Who's caught your eye? Any team or player that's impressed you? What do you think, man?
Well, of course, I'm thundered out right now. You know, we got a good crew. Jalen Williams, honestly, is someone I've been keeping an eye on from his last year. I think we ended second or third in Rookie of the Year, and coming into this season, I'm super impressed with what he's gonna be with Giddey, with Dort, with SGA, and then Chet. Chet, man. Chet looked nice. Y'all saw him versus
Rookie season.
This is Rookie of the Year. Chet Holmgren.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Maybe.
I'm just saying, if he could stay upright, it's going to be hard to deny his blocks, his defense, and the man he can shoot, he can play some ball. So we saw the offseason workouts with Kevin Durant. We saw that he's bulked
put on
a
few pounds of muscle.
He looks good with the little facial hair.
Turning into a man.
He's looking like a dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So no, but for real, and really, I've liked him. I've liked watching Vic in the one game they played against each other, and Rui and D'Lo for the Lakers. Truth be told, another squad obviously I pay a lot of attention to, have been shaping up really nice for the Lakers as well. So biasedly speaking here, I have been watching. Really, like I said, keeping an eye on Spurs, and Scoot's playing tonight, so I was kind of watching that a little bit. So I'm kind of all over the place, but man, I'm excited. It's preseason. It's kind of, you want to dip your pen into all the ink you can a little bit right now. So
you're just overwhelmed with just hoops and hoops being played. You want to watch all of it. I completely understand.
Yes, sir.
Who me you got? Personally, everyone knows Malcolm's all OKC. Me over here. You can't see the poster on my camera, but hey, it's Houston. Houston over here, man. I've been watching both Houston Rockets games, right? But okay, I'll get to them later. Another team that's impressed me, or someone who's looked really good for me in preseason, is not a young guy per se, right? But someone who is in a new town.
Mm-hmm.
Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh man,
super impressive in his Boston debut. He was showing some Knicks flashes right there, and if Boston can get that version of Porzingis, man,
yeah,
it's a different team. I feel like the perception on Porzingis is still a little misconstrued. I don't know if I said that right. From his years in Dallas, right? When he was playing with Luka, when he was just like a pick and roll, like a pick and pop guy, just got his touches here and there. That really ruined a lot of the perception of Kristaps Porzingis, just because he was limited to such a role playing next to Luka. And then you get to Washington, where he goes under the radar, has a really good season, but again, he's in Washington, so no one really bats an eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Now he's hooping it up in Boston, and everyone's shocked now. He's having a bounce back season for Boston. He's been really impressing me. Another guy who's impressed me, I mentioned I've been watching this team, another big man, Jabari Smith Jr.
Okay, yeah.
The second year improvement is there from what I've seen from Summer League. We saw it there, and then preseason now, where he's bulked up, he's added muscle. I don't know if y'all have seen some of those press conference pictures, but that man, he got a frame right now.
He's got a fan body, yeah.
The dribble drive is there. He came in his rookie year basically not knowing how to dribble a basketball, getting ripped, losing it off his ankle. This year, he's being aggressive, putting the ball on the floor, pulling up, Hey, and let me say this: don't let him perfect that little fadeaway.
I think he built a lot of confidence in summer league.
There it
I
is.
told him.
There, his second year confidence is there because he's just pulling up in people's faces and making it. And with his height and length, man, you don't want to let him get that going because it's going to be unstoppable there.
Yeah, I tell you,
Yeah,
yeah,
man, that's who I've
he
been
has a real
watching this
honest
summer
never
league.
had
Yes,
is the
sir.
shot.
The shot, yeah, and that's yeah, because the shot was also shaky year one. It was his confidence.
Yeah,
But now
yeah.
he's coming in there with a new team, new culture, new coach. And overall, this team has been playing real basketball. The days of AAU basketball is over in
I hope
Houston.
so, man. I hope so. Well, yeah, and you guys got a really nice young squad out there in Houston. You got all the sizes you need. Not everybody's, 6'9". You're throwing out
Six
legitimate.
seven, 6'6", 6'7", 6'11", and what 6'10", 7 foot.
Yeah, you
They
guys
say he
got
grew.
real depth out
That's
there,
a
and
that's a that's a tall team.
yeah, no, it's gonna be nice. You're seriously, player. It's gonna be a team to watch throughout the whole season. If the young guys can stay together and get through all this, man. Yeah, it's gonna be something to something to see. I tell you, especially like I'm biased, like I said, between the OKC Thunder. I think this is a team that could be in the play-in again, if not make the playoffs. And I don't think your team shouldn't be looking too far off of that either. You know what I mean?
You know, this is the last thing I will say about Houston. This is the take I have on this. All right, and I think that what the Thunder were last year,
Mm-hmm.
Houston has a chance to be this year.
Okay.
Because
Yes.
if you look at last season,
Yeah.
the Thunder came in as the youngest team in the NBA,
Yeah.
overlooked by everybody. Nobody expected them to make the play in or even the playoff, nothing like that, right? And they
Right.
came in and they took the league by surprise here and there. And once they established themselves at that point, that's their identity. They established themselves early.
Hard
And I
working.
think, yeah, exactly, with that same thing, with that same culture and that same, you know, chip on the shoulder that everyone's underestimating you, Houston is going to have that. They're going to be one of those teams that makes a jump that nobody saw coming. And now the difference now for those teams, like, actually, that's going to be a later topic. I won't say that one team. But the Thunder, I don't want to say it, but they're going to have it more difficult this year. They are a better team. I'll say that, right? They're a better team than they were last season, and I do expect them to play well. But teams are onto that.
Yeah.
They're on other teams' radars now. They're not going to come in thinking, "Oh, it's the Thunder, it's a cakewalk." They're going to say,
Have a
they're going to
center
say,
all season.
they're going to say that's Shea, that's Giddy, and that's Holmgren. Now teams are going to come ready. So, if the Thunder if they do better than they were last season record wise, I'm not surprised. But if they float around the same area, still not going to be surprised just because of teams being ready for it. I think the improvement will be there, and they're going to be a better team. It's just going to be more recognized now, and that's going to give chances for a team like Houston to shoot up now because the focus is completely off of them. They're coming off seasons where they won 17, 20, and 22 games.
Right.
This team is hungry to win. I saw they posted a promotional video on Instagram, Coach Ime Udoka in the huddle, playoffs on 3, 1, 2, 3, playoffs. Everybody, they ready. They want to make the playoffs. Will they? Not sure, but they might sneak into that playing game. Don't be surprised.
There's absolutely a chance. There's absolutely a chance. Teams to watch out for. Pelicans gonna be hanging around.
Pelicans too, especially with a healthy Zion. He said he's committed to the season.
Yep. He looks like he's in better shape too. I'm not gonna lie. It's another person I kind of would have my eye on as well. Just it's just like James Harden. I was kept my eye on him. I want to see what James Harden came into camp.
That's a messy situation, man.
He was watching that, so it's unfortunate that's going down the way it is. But that's the NBA, man. That's the world we live in right now. So
you know what? Let me hear your thoughts on that situation. Like, weigh in on it a little bit. What do you think about the James Harden Sixers situation?
Man, well, he said it out loud. He won't play for Daryl Morey. He called him a liar. Unfortunately, when you burn that bridge, man, I don't like to be mean about James Harden, because he's talent. It's just not what he puts out there. I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like he's pouting his way out of Philly.
And
And,
that's
and,
just
and
something we've seen him do, right?
huh?
That's just something we've seen him do, right?
Yeah,
Get
and
his
like,
way out.
and he will, and he'll find his way to the Clippers. It's
I,
gonna.
he will, but at what cost and in how
He's
much
losing
time?
respect, and that
That's what
and
I'm
it's not,
saying.
and that's what I'm like. He's losing because he's already lost me. Like, so I've always a huge fan of James, man. Like I said, man, he's a Thunder guy. Like, I had him first. I loved him, and my point is like he's so talented, and what he's doing is so wrong for basketball. Like, I kind of hate it. But it's right for James, and he wants to go play somewhere else. I'd make him happier, and I respect that part of it. I just don't like it, for the fan, aspect. But you know.
I hear you, and I agree with a lot of that. For me, I just think he's making a mistake choosing not to play. I understand, hey, he and Maury's relationship is a burnt bridge right now, and he doesn't want to play for the guy. But you are 34 years old. If you sit out a whole year without, that's a year of your basketball career wasted. That's a year of your where you're slowly declining and you're not playing basketball anymore. You can't just sit there because Daryl Morey is known to hold out. He did it with Ben Simmons. All right, he's done it before. Daryl Morey will wait for the perfect offer, and he said, "You give me this," or it's like he's firm with his price.
Yeah, he said it already.
So it's just not a good idea. I think if anything, James Harden should give it a chance with Philadelphia. As much as I also want him to move on, right? Because
Who wants to watch that?
That's what I'm saying. But
Embiid don't deserve that.
This Philly defense, well, not defense. This Philly team has made changes and has made efforts again to try to get better and win another championship. They brought in championship coach Nick Nurse. They signed wings and defensive-minded players like Patrick Beverley, Kelly Oubre. Tyrese Maxey is set to have another jump. A whole different style of coaching with Nick Nurse. So it's like there is a chance, and you could possibly let it ride while still wanting to be traded to the Clippers.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And then if anything, who knows, maybe he plays and the Sixers are the 1 seed by the trade deadline and he changes his mind.
I tell you,
instead you go ahead and just burn your relationship, and now it's kind of late.
I'll give him credit because he's came into camp and in shape, and so that was one thing I was worried. He did that, so maybe he'll be a good soldier, and
he ain't wear the fat suit.
Didn't wear the fat suit. Yeah, it's true. But yeah, nah, man. So like I said, I hope he gets what he wants. I just hate it. Just hate it. But we got King of the East, man. We had a big trade go down.
Two big trades.
New man from the West coming East, and maybe there's a new king atop of the mountain in the Eastern Conference. So we had Milwaukee, we got Boston, and truth be told, what about Miami? Miami's still the king of the mountain.
Again, I love Miami. Everyone knows Florida. Florida to Houston. I'm a Dolphins fan in the NFL, so it's like I love Miami. I'm not gonna be, there's no like biases here and everything. Yeah. They had it easy because they were the 8th seed, if that makes sense.
I know, I got it. There was no like.
Everyone was always looking past them. Yeah, Giannis even said it in his interview. He said he wasn't, he said he was already looking forward to the next matchups, the Bostons, the Phillies.
Yeah. So I know what happened, but like
it's hard to replicate too. Like,
speaking, they are still the king of the East.
As of right now, yes, they are the king of the East, but I don't know how safe that title is. And I thought that they were going to be a team to swoop in and get Drew Holiday last second, which would have been a great addition for them, someone who fits that team. But instead, they basically stay the same. They just add their rookies. And they lost. Yeah, I'm saying 2 crucial pieces to that offense that helped them make the finals. So I don't know, Miami.
So no,
drop
I
off
just said respectively. I wanted to
respectively.
bring them up.
They'll still be a playoff team, I believe. I don't think they'll have to be fighting
Well, you heard Jimmy.
playing.
Jimmy said they will be back in the finals with his perm ass hair. With his,
The emo boy hair.
I was
Hey,
like,
hey.
uh,
I don't know. It's just tough. But if you can credit anything to Miami, is that they do have that mentality, and that takes them very
yeah,
far, especially with Coach Spo.
if you believe it, that's a big part. That's a big part. The rest you just got to do. You just got to do the work. You put in
Mhm.
the hard work, man. A lot can manifest from that. So,
And
but
don't forget,
really,
they got playoff Michael Jordan and Jimmy Butler over there.
we saw the
Like,
numbers. We saw the numbers. Truth be told, but between Milwaukee and Boston,
it's those two teams right now, right?
roster to roster, it looks like those are the two teams going to be at the two in the
The
Eastern
way I
Conference.
see it, it's Boston and Milwaukee up here. I'm not gonna order them right now, right?
Right.
Number 1 and 2, and then 3,
I'm going to order them
4,
one and two,
5, 6, 7, 8.
and I'm going to do that just because Boston has not proved it. They are number two to me.
Okay.
I don't care how well the roster looks throughout the whole season. They need to prove it in the big moment. Like the Dallas Cowboys.
And you know what? Okay.
When they can have the best roster in the world, 13-3, and they get to the playoffs and they lose to the Packers. I'm just saying, like it's the same concept. I don't believe it until I see it. Kind of like the Nuggets last season, even. Like I have to witness the growth, and this is gonna be no different here. Prove it.
So you'll take Milwaukee over Boston if they were to face off in a series.
100%.
And you know what? And in a way, I understand what you're saying, because Boston, much like Milwaukee before they won their championship, they having that trouble getting over the hump, right? Where they get there, they get so close every year, year after year, and they can't get over that hump. They fall right back down. And Milwaukee had that same thing just a few years ago, where they couldn't get over that hump. They were such a good team every year. They were the best defense every year, best offense one year. Giannis was the MVP, and he couldn't get them over that championship. And they finally make it over that hump.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, the questions go away. It's no worries. It's everything's validated. But I think this is the year that Boston does get over that hump, because they're thirsty. They want it bad, because they've been there almost every year and they haven't been able to win. And I know for a player like Jason Tatum, who wants to win every night, that kills him. That kills someone like just the Boston Celtics organization. They want to win championships and they want to get there, and they haven't been able to. But looking at it matchup wise, right?
Well, like I said, they got KP, they got Drew Holiday.
That's what I'm saying. The Bucks sacrificed some of their defense.
Yeah.
In Drew Holiday. For a lot more offense in.
Well, they needed a shot maker at the end.
In Damian Lillard, and exactly, because what's this? Wow,
Middleton?
Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton wasn't that last season, and I understand he was coming off an injury.
Exactly.
But they didn't have their closer.
Two guys in Middleton and Dame who can close out, and Giannis he didn't get credit for being a closer because he can't make a final shot. But with Dame and Middleton out on any perimeter, Giannis might be able to dunk it on your head.
He might be able to take you one-on-one. Yeah, you can't help off, because Giannis has shown he can get up to the rim and then just pass it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So this is
Giannis is a very underrated playmaker.
A little bit as well. So I don't know. This is going to be a really great matchup if we really get to have it in the Eastern Conference Finals. It would be such a blessing.
I'd love it. It goes to 7. Has to go to 7.
Every bit of it.
Even if the refs rig it, it goes to that.
I'll take a rig 7.
A rig 7. But yeah, man, I'm giving the edge just to Boston, because when you look at it this way, everybody except for maybe Boston fans in the past few years, everyone has always known that Drew Holiday was the better defender than Marcus Smart. He's just a better overall player, right?
Better player, man.
Better player, better on defense, better on offense. He's a real point guard.
Straight up.
So they upgraded their position at point guard.
Yep.
And what they lost, Robert Williams, they again make up Porzingis, who's not maybe the same defensive player, but he has the height and he has the length, and you could even see it in the preseason game. He was swatting shots. He was moving crazy. So
When he
they
came in
up
the league, he was known as
overall. Yeah, and so I'm saying they got a shot blocker in Kristaps Porzingis, someone who can hold down that rim. And even though he's not a match for Giannis's physicality, they still have Al Horford, who's not the Giannis stopper by all means, but
they also lost. Didn't they lose Tice as well?
Daniel
Boston?
Tice, yes, Daniel Tice, he is in Indiana.
Yeah. So
But
there's a few.
they have I'm saying they have the bigs to be able to crowd Giannis and make it difficult for him. And on the other end, dare I say, they have the Dame stopper.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I don't know. Hey, listen, everyone knows what happened in that one playoff series. All right. And I know that's way in the past, but Dame has also credited Drew Holiday to be the best defender he's faced. He always says that Drew Holiday
size
gives him the most trouble.
Because Dame's a strong point guard. Drew
is, but so is Drew. He's a big guy. Yeah. But what they have this year is that he can do the pick and roll with Giannis, right? And in that scenario, it's very hard for the defenders to make that split decision because you give Dame an inch of space. He's pulling as great as a player Drew Holiday is. It's hard to get over a Giannis screen. And then if he does happen to get over it, look who's down in the paint.
I'm telling you.
But, man, I think overall, Boston is a more versatile team.
Yeah. No,
because look at this lineup. Just think of this lineup defensively, okay? Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum. Al Horford. Kristaps Porzingis off the bench. Derek White.
Oh, yeah, he showed.
Derek White led the league in blocks for guards last season. He can be like that.
Yeah.
I think just the versatility defensively and on offense, because they can play through the bigs with Porzingis, or they can just give Jason Tatum the ball and let him cook. They can play multiple ways. It's just going to be a tough team overall. That's why I have them coming out of the East.
Okay. You got Boston coming out. Okay, I know it's so early to
it's early, right? And hopefully everyone stays healthy, because that's the only way that I can see one of these teams not making it is if somebody gets injured. And I hopefully if they make it to the playoffs, they face each other in the conference finals, we get a healthy 7-game series. Would love it.
100%. My God. Yeah, because what I want to see.
And whoever makes it out those finals wins the championship, by the way.
Okay. Whoever comes out the East gonna win the whole thing. The East is the beast this time.
Oh, actually, it might depend on if the Suns make it out, though.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I hear that. But okay, nah. I still pick defensively. Boston and Milwaukee can maybe not shut down, but they could stifle the offense.
They can slow them down.
I don't think the defense from the Phoenix can keep up with the other.
That's a good take. Especially since they downgraded a lot of aspects offensively.
Well, Ayton over here playing for.
They sent off Ayton for Nurkic. Not the best defensive center since his injuries. Yeah, they got rid of Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. Lost the defense there.
He can rebound.
Yeah. He can rebound. He's solid. He's a physical center too. So it's not saying he's a bad center. It's just he's not Ayton. And I get it. Ayton wasn't good for them either. He just didn't want to be there though. I think Ayton's gonna shine in Portland. He'll be good.
No, he will with the young guys. I think somebody else out there was Malcolm Brogdon's out there too, ain't he?
Malcolm Brogdon, I think he is there. I think they're looking to flip him too. So I don't think he's there for long.
I hope they keep him because I think he's gonna do really, really well for those young guys.
I think Malcolm Brogdon wants to compete.
I get it. I get it.
I don't think he wants to be there.
Well, I wouldn't want to be there either. But for him, I think it's good for the players. I think it's good for the younger guys around him. Nonetheless. So in the NBA right now, of the teams you see, who do you see jumping into the playoffs? Was what I'm trying to ask. Who do you see jumping in? Who's coming in?
Indiana.
Indiana's jumping in.
Yeah, wow. Indiana's jumping in. If you look at them last year, right? They were one of the better teams in the league in the East. I mean, when Tyrese Halliburton was playing. Okay. He is that much. Tyrese Halliburton had the best playmaking stats out of any player in the NBA last season.
Pretty incredible.
He had that one streak. He had like 40 straight assists with no turnovers.
He was
Averaged 10 a game, I think. I don't know. I don't have the stats right in front of me, but I'm pretty sure he was up there. He was one of the best. He was one of the highest players with assists. And once Tyrese got injured, they fell all the way out of that playoff race, even the play-in hunt. They were 5 games back of the 10 seed Chicago Bulls.
Right.
Now, when you look at that team, they also they drafted a guy, Jarris Walker, very good defensive center, good lob threat for Tyrese Halliburton. They got Obi Toppin, another great lob threat, gonna get down in transition and run with Tyrese Halliburton. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. That's gonna be real fun. They went out and they stole Bruce Brown from the Nuggets, and Bruce Brown showed that he is one of those key players. He did it in Brooklyn. He was there in Brooklyn, right? He was one of the people fighting to keep them in the playoffs when KD was giving it all he got. He was in Denver making huge plays for Denver down the stretch, defensively hitting big shots. That guy's in Indiana now. He's one of those winning players, and they stole him from Denver. He's in Indiana, so I think Indiana has what it takes to make the playoffs in here now. This ain't part of the question, but I'm gonna look at it anyway. Who do I think they can bump out? Oh, you know what? That's tough.
Indiana.
Maybe they don't. Okay, maybe they make the play-in and they bump out the Raptors, because I think the Raptors might blow it up this season. So the Raptors were the 9 seed. I think they can get up there. They can fight for the play-in spot, and maybe beat out a team like Chicago again.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
That's one thing. We're gonna answer this question, but you got to tell me who comes out.
New Orleans.
You think New Orleans making it into the playoffs?
Gonna make it into the playoffs.
I can see that because they did it. They did it 2 years ago.
Yeah,
with healthy Zion.
I guess that. Well, I mean, I could argue. I think. Well, man, golly, but two have to.
But I'm saying it's difficult. But I'm saying the NBA is a very stacked league right now. Everyone's trying to compete. Because think about it. Dallas missed it completely last season.
Completely out, and you have to put Dallas in. You have to put them
in. I mean, I don't really know, because their defense is still not that.
You can argue.
I think they're gonna be in that 8 to 10 range. Dallas.
Memphis can slip. They don't have.
Memphis can slip.
They don't have Ja for the first 25 games, right? Memphis can slip.
Worst case scenario, they lose most of those 25, and now they're in a situation where they're fighting back the rest of the 58 games.
Exactly, just to try to muster into the play-in tournament. Then you've got, I think, Minnesota, depending on what that looks like. Right?
I can't see them definitively making it in. I know there's some people projecting them right in the playoffs. I just don't know.
There's teams that gotta fall, and that's
what I'm saying. Just because someone has to fall, exactly.
Golden State, they gotta fall. Like, they might have to fall. like these are what, the Lakers even are on this weird bubble where I obviously their squad is one injury away from falling apart, being LeBron and Anthony Davis. The Clippers, one injury away from not making the playoffs, and Kawhi.
The Clippers could drop. I've lost all faith in the Clippers.
We all should. Okay,
the Clippers haven't showed us they can do anything.
Never showed it. You shouldn't believe in them. Good Lord. Yeah, nah, man. Yeah, I think those, like I said, the team I've got to pick to definitely make the playoffs. Yeah, that's New Orleans. New Orleans got to make it. Zion's gonna be healthy. He's gonna play all year.
Zion and Brandon Ingram are very good together when they're healthy. We just haven't seen it.
One in the West until that just shit.
They were, and then they went on a 11-game losing streak or something like that.
Yeah, it was literally worst to first to worst.
Exactly, and that's just what the injuries do to you. But you could also make that argument that what if they're not healthy again? They don't jump in.
I know. That's the league, and that's why we watch the games. That's why
they see everything going on.
Always win. No, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hey, before we close the show, we've been moving in the NFL season, and I just wanted to talk about it real quick. We're moving into week 6 right now, and a few teams have kind of made themselves known. They've kind of showed that, hey, we're here, we're gonna make the playoffs, and when we get there, we might be formidable. And I think one of those teams, you might be pretty fond of. Yeah, buddy, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like that jersey too, man. That's so
slick. Offensive player of the year, right here.
Gotta be. He's going for the 2K right there. He's going for the 2K.
He's on pace for it. He's got it. And then his biggest competition for that out 4 weeks at least.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's gonna be tough. So yeah, no, yeah, Justin J, man, yeah, that's tough for him. So no, good luck to Justin Jefferson. They're gonna trade Kirk Cousins now.
I don't think it's his fault though.
Well, Kirk, man, look, I had him in Washington, and I'll tell you that Kirk is a solid, moderate quarterback.
Okay, yeah, he's solid, but he's not bad.
He's not bad. He's not gonna get you over the hump. He's gonna make you don't
think he elevates?
Remember Tony Romo? He's gonna fail when you need him the most.
Primetime Kirk Cousins can't win a game.
It's just, man, it is what it is. Look, so we're talking about teams that are now making it their own, coming in to what we deem to be great looking football towards the middle of the season. And so far, the 49ers really topped the freaking list, right?
49ers, there is no doubt that team's going Super Bowl.
Dude, okay, so
you know what it would take for the 49ers to really miss it?
Honestly, I'll be honest. I think losing Christian McCaffrey would seriously hinder this. I'm not sure what running back steps up if he goes down. He's literally.
I mean, you can't replicate Christian McCaffrey.
No, you can't.
He's on a crazy another level. You know, you can try, but it won't be very successful.
No, so but Brock Purdy's also playing phenomenal.
Brock Purdy has looked very good in that system. I think he might be killing those system quarterback allegations, you know?
Well, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to say he's the MVP of the league right now, and I think the system is a huge part in that. Caveat, however, right? This dude is balling. He's making the throws. He's not throwing interceptions. He's not fumbling football. He's literally not making the mental mistakes so many quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, Dak Prescott, are getting literally so much trouble and so
Lamar
much.
last week.
Joe Burrow.
Do you take that up with his injury, or do you just think he's dropped off?
He's hurt.
He can't scramble, you know, he can't.
You don't look right. I would have sat him. I wish they wouldn't have played him. Truth be told, I thought one sack would have ended their season. And it
could have.
His shoulder, his anything, like his ankle. I mean, just God.
They got to be real careful with him. And I know he wants to play because he wants to win them games, but it's not helping. He had a good game last week, though.
No, he did.
Week 5, it was good. And I think he might be on the verge of coming back, right?
He found his guy.
Yeah, the guy that's always open.
Yeah, 15 targets.
He's always effing open, man.
Yeah, aren't they all? But yeah, the 49ers, man. 49ers, 5-0, beat the living mess out of the Dallas Cowboys, who had the best defense in the NFL. So 42-10 putting on them. That's seriously a really, really impressive performance. So that's the NFC side. The AFC side, honestly, it's hard to overcome the current Chiefs, the current champions. The Chiefs right now are kind of playing practice football with teams right now. They're just kind of testing receivers, testing plays, seeing what works, and also winning football games. So you know, if you're testing your offense and just making your way to the playoffs, odds are you're going to be pretty good when you get there. Definitely something to watch. They don't have a number one receiver. So
But
Travis
when you're
Kelce,
Patrick Mahomes, do you need a number one receiver? Oh well, actually, the Lions game kind of showed that. Never
it
mind.
did. No, so I'm saying you can take Travis away, and you're now dealing with young receivers and Rashee Rice and Watson, and you got Pacheco, and there's another guy I'm missing right now.
Tony
Yeah, Tony. Ooh, he did not have a good
Valdez Scantling.
but nonetheless, you've got guys out there for Patrick just got to shape up throughout the rest of the season. The Bills, who knows what they are?
The Bills, they're too inconsistent for me.
Yeah, who knows what they
have one of those games in the playoffs. Goodbye.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. No, and that's where you break it up too. If they lose in the playoffs, you have to trade some. You got to break it up. This didn't work.
Do something. And the thing with the Bills now, had one of the better defenses. Their defense is injured now.
Yeah,
they've lost Trey White. They've lost Matt Milano.
Yep.
It's taken a little bit of a fall off now, and that might just open up, windows for other teams.
Well, you got the Jags who just beat them, and
the Jags are looking nice too, but
looking nice, and they haven't even put great stuff on field yet. They haven't even put it all out there yet. I think Trevor Lawrence has only got 5 touchdowns in 5 games. He's really not even turned into
Travis Etienne though. He's been good.
Travis is playing real nice football. So yeah, the Jags are definitely going to be a formidable team. What do you think of CJ Stroud, man?
CJ Stroud. I love CJ Stroud, man. Okay, Houston and Miami, right? So I've been keeping up with the Texans too, and CJ Stroud looks like he might be running away with the offensive rookie of the year. Yeah. It was gonna be either him or Devon Achane, but Achane's out right now, so that might be gone. But man, CJ Stroud has been very impressive for a rookie quarterback to just come in, the most passing attempts without an interception. He came in with a depleted, he doesn't have an O-line either. His O-line is injured. He doesn't have a reliable running back right now because Damian Pierce is not a pass catcher, and he hasn't been able to produce much this season. And CJ Stroud is finding a way to be great still. His connections with Tank Bell and Nico Collins, he's able to find them. Great improviser when he needs to be. He's just been better than anyone expected.
No doubt. Hey, real quick before we end the show, we got one of the Paul brothers, right? Logan
Paul versus Dylan Dennis, and then KSI versus Tommy Fury.
Yeah, so you got knockout coming, right? You got Dennis getting knocked out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's just not a boxer. He's just not a boxer. Clown, right? And on the other end, I have Tommy Fury beating KSI too.
Same here. All right, man. Good show.
Quick shout before we end the show. Thank y'all for watching.
Yes, sir. Thanks for watching Set the Record. I'm Malcolm Anthony. That's Cody. Subscribe to the show. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram and Twitter. Set the Record Pod. Like the Facebook page, Set the Record Podcast. Meditate. Make it go away.
Yeah.
We back.